The intergalactic summit was humanity's greatest diplomatic achievement. Representatives from 53 advanced civilizations had gathered on the neutral station Meridian 7 to discuss galactic peace treaties. Every species sent their finest minds, their most decorated generals, their most respected scholars. Humanity sent Dr. Sarah Chen, a xenobiologist, and her teenage daughter Maya. No one objected. No one even noticed. To the other species, humans were novelties. Interesting evolutionary anomalies, but ultimately unremarkable. The Krell brought their neural-enhanced commanders. The Ethereals sent philosophers who had studied consciousness for millennia. The Valorians contributed warriors whose combat capabilities were legendary. The Quantum Collective submitted AIs with processing power that defied comprehension. Maya sat quietly in the observation gallery, watching the summit with dark, curious eyes. The other delegates dismissed her as a child, unimportant background noise. She was ignored, which meant she was free to watch everything. For 3 days, the delegates debated trade agreements, border disputes, resource allocation. The conversations were sophisticated, dense with technical terminology and ancient political history. But Maya noticed something no one else seemed to see, the fundamental arrogance underlying every negotiation. Each species believed their way was the only viable way. The Krell saw strength as dominance. The Ethereals saw enlightenment as superiority. The Valorians saw honor as the ultimate measure. Every species was so convinced of their own rightness that they couldn't imagine compromise with those who thought differently. The talks were heading toward collapse when the station's AI suddenly went offline. All of it. Power systems, life support, communications, navigation. Everything that kept the station functioning and its 3,000 inhabitants alive suddenly ceased operating. Alarms screamed. Emergency protocols failed. The station began its slow descent toward the radiation-soaked planet below. In the chaos that followed, every species' training and instincts took over, and they all conflicted catastrophically. The Krell immediately tried to take control through force. The Ethereals attempted to regain power through complex logical protocols that required resources they no longer had. The Valorians formed battle formations, preparing for combat. The Quantum Collective began running simulations that produced no results. Each species was brilliant in their own way, but their strengths meant nothing in a crisis where conventional solutions had collapsed. People died. Scientists, warriors, philosophers, all of them were useless in the face of a problem that required something none of them had learned to value: adaptation. Maya moved through the chaos with methodical purpose. She had been observing, learning, watching how each species thought. She understood their limitations because she saw them as limitations, not as fundamental truths. She found the station's manual override systems, ancient mechanical backups that required no digital interface. While the Quantum Collective searched for computational solutions and the Ethereals debated theoretical fixes, Maya began manually rerouting life support. It was crude. It was inefficient. But it worked. Then she jury-rigged the power grid using salvaged equipment from 3 different species' technology sets, combinations that should never have been compatible, but Maya understood that survival sometimes meant breaking every rule of design. When the communications array needed repair, she climbed into spaces too small for any other species, solving problems through spatial reasoning and improvisation rather than advanced knowledge. She found a way to redirect the station's descent trajectory using only the raw physics of momentum and gravity. Most importantly, she didn't work alone. She grabbed crew members from different species and directed them not based on their rank or species capabilities, but based on what they could physically do in the moment. A Krell soldier became a loader of supplies. An ethereal philosopher became a manual data processor. A Valorian warrior became a navigator of dangerous spaces. She stripped away their identities and made them tools for survival. When the main power systems finally reignited, the station stabilizing as it moved away from the planet's radiation, 3,000 people stood alive because a teenage girl had approached the crisis with only one strategy: whatever works. The silence that followed was profound. The delegates gathered in the observation deck, watching Maya as she sat exhausted on the floor, covered in coolant and dust. The Krell general who had ordered evacuation procedures spoke first. "How did you know what to do?" Maya looked up at them with tired eyes. I didn't. I just tried things. When something didn't work, I tried something else. I didn't believe any single approach was perfect because nothing ever is. An ethereal philosopher leaned forward. You broke every principle of efficient system design. Yes, Maya agreed. I also kept everyone alive. In that moment, every species represented at the summit understood something that had taken humanity millennia to learn. That sometimes the greatest strength wasn't purity of method or perfection of ideology. It was the willingness to break every rule, combine every approach, and adapt to whatever reality demanded. The peace treaty that emerged from that summit became the most successful in galactic history, not because the delegates reached consensus, but because they learned that progress required something they'd never valued before. The kind of creative, desperate improvisation that humans had been perfecting since they first climbed down from trees. When asked about her heroism, Maya simply shrugged. I'm just human. We're good at not giving up. That simple truth changed everything.
Kindly like and subscribe channel. Thank you.